Alright, so tonight we are going to have a wonderful presentation here, speaking the language of manifestation. So as you see here, this is a PowerPoint presentation here. I'm going to get through this. Again, it'll be about 45 minutes. After the presentation, I'll be taking about a quick 2 to 3 minute break just to get everything set up for the shower. If that's a good time for you to use the bathroom, then that's a good idea. Other than that, thank you again everybody for being here tonight, and I hope you enjoy tonight's event. Oh, there we go. That's good. Excellent, thank you. Okay. Reality is always speaking to you. Everything is a matrix. Nothing is truly insignificant. Reality is by interpretation. The universe is your own gauge representing your now alignment. The language exists through subtlety. So every single thing that we see in reality has the ability to communicate with us. It's not about the idea that you must be a living organism in order to communicate with everything. The chairs that you're seated in right now, you're actually able to communicate with them. They can actually give you advice about how to appropriately position themselves so that the energy is actually in the most configurative state necessary so that you're actually getting a good geometric feeling. Everything really is connected. There's nothing in reality that is really insignificant, from the littlest speck of rain, from the littlest speck of dust, from our own planet, from our own galaxy, from the universe itself. It's all part of an interpretation. It's all part of how we're perceiving our reality. And life is communicating with us at every single given moment. Even right now, all your hearts are talking to each other. You're all having a really great discussion. You're just not tuned into it. You're just not tuned into that spectrum. When you're able to communicate with your own heart, when you're able to communicate with the hearts of others, it's a different type of language. It's a different type of communication. Our particular generations, within the next, you should say 50 to 100 years, are going to be a lot more heart-centered. From what I've received from my own guidance, what I've received from Adronis, that within these next 2 to 3 generations, we're going to be very, very sharp in communicating with the heart. You'll basically just be in front of a person, and 5 seconds later, you'll have a day's worth of conversation in those 5 seconds. You're able to connect with the heart, you're able to communicate with that person, and there's no confusion, there's no hidden agendas. Everything is being communicated by energy. You're all speaking together as a matrix. And it's not just people. You'll all be able to speak with animals, you'll be able to speak with babies, you'll be able to speak with other inanimate objects, with the tables, with the floor. Everything was produced through consciousness. And so therefore it has that communicative ability because we created it. We created this chair. We created this table. Yeah, chair, table. We created this table. We created these chairs. We created this auditorium. Everything here is a manifestation of ourselves, and it speaks a particular language. Okay. Okay, next slide. Speaking the manifestation language. Reality is most receptive when seen with a clear mind. Emotional states limit the perception of manifestation language. Reality always provides opportunity to restore balance so that you can see its language more clearly. When we are very highly emotional, we restrict ourselves to the very small, minuscule perception of reality. If it's something that, oh my goodness, I forgot to pay my rent and my money's due, I don't know what I'm doing, what's going to happen, I'm freaking out. That becomes my reality, this itty-bitty little thing in front of all this. And so that becomes reality. What happens is you actually fragment reality by doing that. Because now this only exists as your perception. And that heightened emotional state has produced so much energy into that one little situation that now becomes our scenario. That becomes our whole life. We are lost in that moment of that trauma, of that dramatic situation. And how are we going to get out? How are we going to move past it? Emotional states lower the degree of the collective consciousness. And so now we're just contained in that itty-bitty little pebble that we would understand as that situation. Again, reality is always providing opportunity to restore balance. How is that done? How are we able to restore balance when we go through emotional states? Well, we're going to look at that in the next slide. Playing a marathon today.
Sorry, I can't see anything.
Oh, sorry, hold on. Can you see okay? Oh, there. If you guys can't see, just let me know. I'll be happy to move out of the way. Okay. Observing reality's communication. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to have an interactive demonstration exercise. All right. So this will involve all of you, and you're going to get up. Right. Okay. There we go. When instructed to, you're going to rise from your seats, and you're going to mingle with people around you, and begin any kind of conversation you wish. Be aware of the people you connect to, with and how they appear to you. Be aware of your environment as you mingle. You're going to have 3 minutes. Afterwards, we reflect on each other's experiences briefly. So why don't we all get up from our chairs? Let's mingle for 3 minutes. Anybody want? Go ahead.
Together, learning about different life. It's very large, 5 to 10,000 people through.
All right. Very, very powerful. All right, everybody, let's go here to front your seats. Do we have any really interesting experiences that happened? Anything interesting happened to anybody through our conversations?
She's from where I grew up.
She's where we grew up. That's fantastic. Absolutely. Awesome. Anybody else?
Everyone I met, this is their first time here. So
Everybody she met, this is their first time here. That's fantastic. Great. Wonderful. Anybody else? Well, you know, we both have the same kind of car, you know, we're both doing this, blah, blah, blah. Anybody else? Any kind of car, anything comes up, anything that's just interesting.
I met you before, or have I met you before?
You have met me before, or you haven't?
The question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very
So, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, basically what we did, for those who have communicated and shared this, okay, go on. Yeah.
I'm usually bad at viewing, so it's actually really difficult to actually have that as a task to do.
But then you found a great experience out of that, so there you go. Basically, everything that we've gone through here is all part of a type of reality communication, because even if we're in the outskirts and we're really not even mingling, it's basically giving us a lesson about ourselves. If we see that a lot of people are just in the crowd and they're having great conversations and they're having just a wonderful time, and we're kind of just stepping outside and saying, oh man, what are those guys talking about? There's something there. It's all a product of synchronicity. Next slide, please. I didn't know what I said. There was okay, all right. Is it just, oh, it's just the right arrow?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. Synchronicity and symbolism. Synchronicity is the result of your reality's rebalancing. So when you, 11:11, yeah, exactly. How many of us have seen 11:11s? Yeah. When you get those moments, when you feel the synchronicities, like there's an example over here about someone who grew up in the same town where you were born. Synchronicity. Something has been, a connection has been balanced. Something has happened very strongly that actually brought forward balance from an emotional state, and now it becomes neutralized. That's how synchronicity works. It's basically a neutralization and restoring balance to your reality. Where consciousness is fragmented with emotion, synchronicity restores fragmentation. So it's kind of like a hard drive. You know, if it gets cluttered a lot from all these different files, we finally defragment it and the computer starts running a lot more smoothly. So that's basically with ourselves. When we start getting fragmented all the time with all these situations, with all these melodramas, with all these traumatic experiences in our life, and we start getting synchronicity by bringing in positive reinforcement through negative connotations, synchronicity takes place. 11:11, 1:11, 2:22, 3:33. A favorite song that happens on the radio that really explains your situation to a T. Meeting a good friend who you haven't met in years and you're all working on the same kind of job, you're both in the same kind of career. Something very synchronous happens, and that is alignment. That's why you're getting the 11:11s. That's why you're getting the 2:22s. They're all just different codes to giving you understandings of symbolisms that synchronicity has been achieved. Symbols can range from a person, place, event, or thing. A marker indicating synchronicity has been achieved. So again, that's why you get these synchronous events. How many people here have had just these kind of experiences where they felt they met a best friend in the last few days or the last few months? Something really profound has happened.
Oh, it's just great.
Excellent. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just things you can't even really explain. They're just incredible aha moments. They're just absolutely fantastic, and you cannot explain how this happened. How did the universe do this? how does it get this clockwork perfection? It all has to do with magnetism. It all has to do with our own magnetics. We're attracting, we're repelling, we're bonding these particular aspects through ourselves. And that synchronicity is basically helping to realign ourselves in that way. Using synchronicity to restore yourself. Synchronicity visits you through realization. Realization indicates your acceptance to transform yourself. Negative situations are remedied through powerful positive reinforcement. You realize, you acknowledge, you forgive, you liberate. These are the keys to self-restoration. So, if we have a very strong negative situation, something that is just gnawing at ourselves, our reality can just not harmonize because I have this problem. Maybe it's something with a partner. Maybe it's something with a job. Maybe it's something with my finances. Maybe it's something with a family matter that's lasted so long. That the only way that is ever going to be remedied is when you bring in positive reinforcement. Is when you're finding, okay, what can I do if I have a family member who I haven't seen in many years, but I keep getting these symbolisms to say, okay, here's Bob. Now I get that movie, what about Bob? Or they sing something on the air about Bob. All these things are pointing to Bob. Synchronicity, synchronicity, synchronicity. So it's all an attempt to restore balance. You finally decide to pick up the phone and you decide to talk to Bob, and he's so happy to hear from you. He hasn't heard from you in years. Fantastic. Now you guys are going to get together for coffee, and now you're going to start all over again. That's it. You have achieved synchronicity because you have allowed positive reinforcement to coach you to come back to that point. You have acknowledged that there is a difficulty with Bob. You have realized that. You are now going into a state of forgiveness. Can I forgive Bob for what he did? Many years ago he crashed my car, or he drove it into a river, or whatever it may be. And being able to achieve that state of forgiveness. And once you have achieved that state of forgiveness, you and Bob coming back together again, you're liberated. You're liberated from it. And that really is the idea of a death of a negative situation. You could call it that, or you could say it's a transformation, because that's all really that death is. But you're basically being liberated from that situation because everything has come together. The universe kept pointing you in these directions, saying, come on, is it now time for you to talk about Bob and find out how you can actually get a hold of him and get this resolved? How many more radio station musics, bands do we have to play before you get the hint? How many times do we have to show you a license plate that says Bob on it? Whatever it may be, it's just the whole idea that the synchronicity is coming together. Okay? So again, the 4-step principles are realize, acknowledge, forgive, liberate. When you realize, it's like your whole new world is expanding. The whole reality of what you are is just growing like a bubble, and it expands a lot further. I realize that I've been neglecting Bob for many years. I realize that I've been shooting myself in the foot, constantly worrying about finances, when I've had my talents, my skills, to actually search a new career. That may be something else that comes to the synchronicity. Maybe I wanted to be a dancer, and I kept getting all these dancing-based synchronicities coming into my life, because the universe is attempting to restore balance. So as long as I can do that, then this is going to be great. Now I'm dancing my way to victory, literally. Okay? That's the whole idea. You acknowledge that. So I acknowledge that this is happening. Okay, great. So as I acknowledge this, I'm going to start working towards it. I'm going to make this happen. This is going to be my life. You forgive all those aspects about yourself that tell you you couldn't do this, or that this is meant to be. This is how you have to be. You cannot go beyond this situation. You're cursed with this situation for life. Maybe in your next life, you'll figure it out, but not right now. That's just it's a get out of jail free card. That's how karma works. It's always having the opportunity to be resolved now. And this is the whole idea, is that in that mingling, there's a lot of love. There's just a lot of love through the conversations that I felt to all of you tonight, of just being able to share. Even people who are on the outskirts, there's still some love there. It's like, oh, that was nice. Look at that hug. That was great. It's all there in order to be resolved. So you just have to forgive. Let forgiveness be your ally. Liberate once you have forgiven, and once that situation comes together, you and Bob have gotten together, your money situation has improved, you're now becoming a full-time dancer. Oh my God, it feels great. Life is wonderful. And that's why people are constantly saying, you may meet these people across the street, they're dancing and they're just loving life because they've been able to solve so much. They've had synchronicity visit them on a very regular basis, and they feel great. They feel amazing. Synchronicity is my ally. It's my best friend. So those are the keys to self-restoration. Observation is the key to viewing the matrix. So as you defragment yourself, you see more into reality. So that's just the first step. When you start to work on yourself and you start to see that these situations are all now coming together and you're just feeling very neutral, you're just feeling bliss, because bliss is not an emotion. It's not a positive, it's not a negative, it's just full awareness of the beauty of the infinite. And that's it. You're going into this state of bliss, into this state of neutrality. Everything feels good. You feel like you're just so much more open. You're a lot more communicative when you felt you maybe were not communicative that much before. You felt that you're a lot more expressive with your hands, like I did. And maybe last time you were just kind of like this, Whatever it may be, some type of transformation has happened, some type of turnaround has taken place. Struggles become subdued and transcended as you are ascended past personal dramas. So it's no longer about the melodrama of life. It's no longer about, can I make the car payment? Can I make the rent? What about my partner? What about my situation here financially? What about my career? It's no longer about that. You have gained such a great prosperity with self-responsibility and self-empowerment that this now becomes your life. Everything is empowerment. You're helping others. You're not helping them because they need to be helped. You're helping them because you see yourself in them. You see everybody here tonight a part of yourself. And that when you're helping them, you're helping yourself, because it's all just recycling itself back into me. I remember a time when I was having financial difficulty. I was back in my hometown, and now I meet somebody tonight. Fantastic, that's great. That's the whole idea. You're just starting to naturally, through the law of naturalness, come together and wanting to offer a helping hand to others because you feel so rebalanced yourself. You're always going to be experiencing new situations, and you're always going to be experiencing new challenges. But everything that you felt was in your past that you felt could not be resolved has now been resolved, and you get to know those parts of yourself. There's always going to be that next horizon. There's always going to be that next challenge. But as long as you're within this state and you are constantly in a state of realization that certain situations like this are starting to unfold, there's nothing you can't do. And so it's really just looking at the horizon and saying, bring it on, challenges, I'm here. And I'm going to help people along the way because it's just me helping myself. You become a natural interpreter for manifestation language. So again, you become very intuitive. You may start to feel that if you're talking to a best friend and she's telling you all these situations that's been happening to her, and you're able to pick up on these things. You feel like the universe is communicating. Maybe you look behind her and all of a sudden there's an 11:11 when she's talking about something with her husband. Oh, there's something there. There's something there you didn't notice. Something intuitively is coming through, and you're really able to speak a language of manifestation. You're used to synchronicity. Synchronicity now becomes a matter of life. It becomes all that you are. It's your reality now. And a person who may not understand that, saying, what are you talking about? What's this about synchronicity? What's this about the 11:11? What's this about the 222? What's this about the Bob license plates? What is it? You're basically just reconnecting them, helping them to realize that life really can be easy. It's that we give so much power, we give so much fragmentation to these emotional states that represent dramas, that we become confined with them. That's the box. That's what we're hiding inside. We're going inside that box and saying, that's all I deserve. I need to be in this box right now. I'm suffering. I'm the victim here. Come on, people, really, feel sorry for me. I need more of that energy. And that becomes your defining reality. And synchronicity is always trying to pay you a visit, saying, come on, get out of the box. Get out of the box. Oh, no, I'm not deserving for that yet. I can't do that. That can't happen to me. It's not possible. That's for somebody else. And you're going to continue to stay contained within that box. So again, be mindful of the synchronicities that come together. Your life transforms and your abundance soars. That's it. Each and every single one of you here today has the ability to be a millionaire. Each and every single one of you today has the ability to travel anywhere in the world. Each and every single one of you here today has the ability to fulfill the career of their dreams. Each and every single one of you today has the ability to restore and rejuvenate and unify together with family. You all have the capability of that. We just feel because we're just single individuals and that this is just a big gigantic rat race with nearly 7 billion people on the planet, what good am I? Am I really significant? Of course you are, because you're all part of the whole. Like I said, there's really only one being in here tonight. And so it's really understanding that no matter who you are, you have the capability to run as far as you wish in regards to your abundance. Your abundance can help you to soar. You can realize that if you are worthy of the abundance that you put out, you're able to run with it. And you're able to achieve so much beyond anything you can imagine. Can you imagine having 7 billion rich people here on the planet? That'd be great. You wouldn't have to worry about money anymore. Everything is unified based consciousness. You see symbols of opportunity all around you. And again, that's what happens when you're in an emotional state. Synchronicity tries to bring you back. The universe wants to restore balance. Anytime you try to separate and segregate the energies of the positive and the negative, the universe needs to bring that energy back. The universe doesn't work in segregation, so it needs to bring those energies together. So opportunities to resolve. Synchronicities are always looking to pay you a visit. They're like that salesman that never leaves the house. Come on, I'm selling this great thing. It's called forgiveness. Open the door. Have you been forgiven today? Blah, 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 blah. That whole spiel. That's how the universe works. It wants to constantly restore balance. So you can try and restrain yourself. You can try, hold on so long for this. No, 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 please, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. No, I can't open the door. I'm a victim. You know? And I'm just going to continue to stay inside my box. All right, but you know what? I'm going to keep on trying. I'm going to keep knocking on the door. I'm going to come by the next minute, the next minute, and the next minute until you finally let go. And this is my people. They literally feel that they're drowning themselves in medication pills, or feeling that they're, going through all these prescriptions and feeling that they're just down in the dumps, and maybe they turn to alcohol, maybe they turn to drugs because they feel that they don't have the power to remedy this situation. Even though the universe keeps saying, come on, Joe, come on, Jenny, you're wonderful, you're ready to do this. Opportunity's here. Take advantage of that opportunity, and you will see the difference. But you have to have that inner strength. If you don't feel you're deserving of a solution, the solution will never come. It's never going to come. It's going to continue to circle and circle and circle. You'll be looking over here, and all the opportunity is coming right behind you. And you're not allowing yourself to see it because you don't realize that you're in control, that you're in power, that you have these opportunities. You are a humble guide for the energies to manifest prosperity within you. That's it. You're not really trying to control anything, quite frankly. You're just a humble guide for all energies. But these guides, they can split energies. And something fundamentally negative, really powerfully negative, starts coming together. The opposite polarity of that positivity is over here, but you're just seeing this side. That's it. It's all negative energy. It's all so terrible. I don't know what I can do. I'm lost. Great. That's okay. Because that's the framework that's helping you to realize at some point that positivity is just around the corner and that you're trying to reinforce yourself. This is why it's so great to have good friends. This is why it's so good to have supportive family. That's why it's so good for people who are just starting to get into this flow of the spiritual aspects of themselves, intuition, empowerment to help you out, to realize that something is here. Because sometimes all we really need is to talk to a perfect stranger. We need to talk to a stranger to find out what we're holding back. And that stranger just met me. But intuitively, they can see all these things about myself. Oh my God, this is great. I never realized that before. I never met this person before. And he's telling me, or she's telling me, all these great things about myself, or these things that I'm holding back. And so now that's giving me the opportunity to look at this in hindsight and transform myself. Okay? So again, you are a humble guide. Reminders to maintain viewing the matrix of reality. So again, functioning as a matrix is being able to look at everything in depth, looking at your reality in depth, realizing that you're living on a planet that's constantly spinning, that's constantly revolving around our sun with all other planets, and that you just feel that the microcosm of the macrocosm are one, that this chair is a universe within itself, that each and every cell in our body is a universe within itself, and it's just constantly feedbacking upon itself. We all have the capability to communicate with the universe. It's all within our grasp, but we have to realize it. Attachment to drama creates reality confinement, as we just talked about. Be mindful of where you place your thoughts and energy. Be discerning and respectful to yourself, and see value in your decisions. That's it. If you're not going to be able to make decisions and you don't see the value behind it, you're just going to be in this rat race. You're a hamster running that wheel. Remember to see the value in yourself. And this is the biggest issue with so many people that I've worked with so many people in my sessions, when I've done events like this. People have come up to me afterwards and saying, Brad, you know, I'm just kind of stuck right now, and I just don't know what's happening with this family situation, or what's happening with my house, or I want a channel like you do, but I don't think I'm good enough for it. I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to do that. And I keep telling them, you have the capability to do whatever you want. You have the capability to transform that situation. You have the capability to practice. If you want to be a channel, you want to be a healer, you want to be a psychic, you want to be an intuitive, practice. You just become that frequency. It's like when an actor becomes the part. When they become the part, they are the role now. And now they are the channel. Now they are the healer. Now they are the psychic. That's all it takes. Let realization be a constant visitor. It will assist in defragmenting polarizing situations. So again, that's it. Open yourself up to possibility. Open yourself up to realization. All right, this person who I just met today told me a lot about myself that I didn't know, because they could read my body language, they could read my aura, they could read my energy, and they're telling me all these things about myself. Oh my God, that's fantastic. I have this epiphany now. Fantastic. I'm going to change this. I got that realization. That person didn't change that individual. That person was simply a reflection of that individual's consciousness, that own reflection, and basically being able to share back to them what they needed to hear. Because that's how it is. Sometimes it may be a song on the radio. Sometimes it may be an internet ad we see on the computer. Sometimes it may be a stranger we see on the street. They may just utter one word. Change. You have change today. Change. That's it. I gotta change. That's it. What? I just wanted to order all this. That's it. It's just all these synchronicities. The universe is just so brilliantly designed of how everything just comes together. I started this whole journey from a science fiction novel. I was writing a book about the extraterrestrial presence, and it was just going to be a nice little, non-fiction, science fiction. And all of a sudden, I discovered this aspect of myself through a book, and that just blows me away every time I talk about it. So I can't believe I woke myself up from this whole life change from a little science fiction novel that I was writing. Fantastic. Okay. I'm so serious, John. Okay. I love the graphic. All right, so good. Managed to plow through that. How are we on time? We got 8. It's 10 minutes to 9. Okay, or 10 minutes to 8, she said. Okay, great. So I'm just going to take about 3 minutes just to set this up here. Get my friend over here to kind of move the table back here, and then we'll be getting started with the live Adronis challenge tonight. So basically, the questions are going to be brought together through this microphone. Yeah, so people are just going to raise your hand, and you can just come on up, and you can ask a question through the microphone there. And again, we'll limit to 3 questions, or one very long question if you want, or maybe 2 little questions. That's fine. I don't want to confuse anybody, of course. But let's just take a couple minutes here. If you guys wanted to take a quick restroom break or anything you need to do, go ahead and do that now. We'll be back here in 3 minutes, and then we'll get started with the live open challenge. Okay. All right, so again, thank you very much, everybody, for enjoying the very first part of that presentation. Again, I will be available after the challenge tonight if you guys do have any questions in regards to the presentation. Now we're getting into the really fun part to bring Adronis from Sirius. Has anybody here heard of Adronis? You just raise your hand if you've heard. Okay, I got a few people. All right. Adronis basically represents an aspect of my own higher self. Is everybody here familiar with the channel? Okay, Abraham Hicks. Yeah. Well, they can use the microphone. Okay.
I don't think it works.
You don't need it when Adronis comes through.
Yeah, believe me, when you're
Yeah, sorry. Everybody here familiar with channeling? It's very similar to like Abraham Hicks or Bashar. It's very similar to that type of energy, that type of resonance. So basically how it works is that it just takes me a couple seconds to bring Adronis through. Adronis represents an extraterrestrial consciousness. He exists within what's known as the star Sirius. And he is just an aspect of my own higher self. I discovered him in December of 2008. I've been channeling since about September, October of 2008, doing automatic writing or inspirational writing. And a friend of mine who was coaching me, who was teaching me a lot of channeling, basically did like an intuitive scan on me one day and said, well, Brad, you know what, you have very strong connections with the energy of Sirius. And I just think you should connect there. I feel like there's an energy that was communicating, that wants to communicate with you. And so I did. I connected in the usual way I connected at that time. And doing automatic writing, I brought forward this energy, this entity known as Adronis. Basically, he said, well, Brad, I'm you, 297 years in the future. I have come back at this time from Sirius to here on Earth for you, to help you evolve, to help you in your time upon your path, upon your spiritual journey. And the exciting thing about our agreement is that as I'm helping you out, you get to share this with the world. So as you're spiritually evolving, everybody else is going to spiritually evolve with you, because I'm here to help everybody. And so that's his arrangement. So he's basically here until the world spiritually evolves. So that's quite a while. I have not yet met anybody who vocally channels him in the way that I do. I have had people have actually personal contact with him. I've had a friend in California that was actually telling me that he had blue orbs of light actually come into his room and mentioned he is Adronis of Sirius and coming through and giving him these great information about his family, about his career, etc. And there's been a lot of other people that have just emailed me and said, Brian, I think I made contact with Adronis, look, I got all this stuff. And so sometimes it gets too much, but so okay, that's great, yeah, it definitely feels like his energy. But everybody has the capability to communicate with Adronis. Now, as we see here on the screen, we see this 8-pointed star with 2 triangles. That's his symbol. That's what you can use in meditation to actually communicate with his energy. Sometimes you can even just chant Adronis, 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 and his energy will start to align. This is not Adronis from Greece. This is not... I had so many people ask me, actually I just had a fellow ask me tonight, what about Adronis? How did he die? Oh, this isn't Adronis, I'm sorry. This is Adronis, and basically his name is a configuration, a vibrational stamp, so to speak, of many different energetic configurations between myself and him. And so it's almost like a soul name, so to speak. And that's how his name came into being. That's not even really his name. He doesn't really have a name. He just uses this name as a vibrational phone number, so to speak, so that you can actually get in contact with him. So when I channel, it just takes a couple of seconds. The energies can get very intense. I'm just warning you guys ahead for time right now. There was one lady in California, we had about 50, 60 people, and she was right at the back. As soon as I brought Adronis in, she nearly fell out of her seat, because the energy gets so strong. It may start to build up. Again, it just all depends on how sensitive you are to energy, so I just want to give you guys a forewarning about that. He has a great sense of humor as well, too. He's like a mirror for all of you, so if you want to joke around with him, he'll joke with you right back. And sometimes he can be very sincere, he can be very honest, he can be very direct. Just all depends in regards to the mirrors that are being cast through him to all of you, okay? So when I channel, I do not believe I'll be able to use the microphone. My eyes are going to be closed, so he does speak very loudly. If you want him to speak louder, just say, speak louder. He'll play with that too. So again, thank you very much everybody for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed the channeling. There will be an open Q&A again, so I'll leave it to my friends here to help instruct the Q&A.
And what we'll do is we'll have the microphone right here. If you have a question for Adronis, I think what we'll do is make the line behind the table here and out that way as needed. There is a wire to...
Yeah, let's watch the cord.
Is a line that'll mostly take the sound system out more than take you out, so let's come to that. And so...
3 question max.
3 question max and or shorter, and that's good. Thank you for letting us do this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy. Adronis is good. We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings and thank thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis from Syria, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in through this particular interaction this evening of your time. How are all of you this evening of your time?
So good.
We are wonderfully glad to hear that. We thank you very much once again for being a part of this most divine interaction with all of you tonight. Basically, what you are experiencing here is basically what the channeling state is all about. That we are sending energies, intertwining together with this conduit, with this vessel, and that these energies are creating a soup. They're creating a blending. And basically, what Brad is doing is immersing himself in the state of a particular void, of a particular nexus, that is allowing our energies to be translated into thought instantaneously. And so basically, as we're bringing forward our serious energies, he is allowing himself to transform that into thought and instantaneously, through the speed of thought, bring forward this transmission. Yes, you all have the capability to do this. You all have the ability to allow these channeling states to happen. It's no different than getting up on stage and singing a beautiful song and becoming lost within the melody. You are immersed in the reality of the melody. Brad himself is immersed in the reality of our transmission. And so this is basically how it takes place. That yes, it is true that I represent a consciousness existing within the star of what you would know as Sirius A, existing within the constellation that you would know as Canis Major. That Sirius A exists approximately 8 light years away from you, but our transmission is instantaneous because it's all about thought, it's all about energy. And so this is how we are presenting ourselves through you, through this conduit, all together as one, as a pond of knowledge, as a pond of wisdom. And so we thank each and every single one of you for being present with us through this conduit this evening of your time. We will now begin the question and answer period. For all of you, any of you that have questions, by all means feel free to share in these questions in any way you wish. Thank you very much.
Go on up to there.
You can strut, it's okay. Do a happy dance in the middle.
Okay. I've taken.
Hello, by the way.
Hello.
Your name is?
Rolling.
Rolly. All right. Hello to you.
I've taken a number of photographs, thousands, but recently orbs have been showing up in them, and they're strongest when I'm in the picture.
Yes?
What are orbs, and is there any significance to them showing up?
Orbs themselves are spirits. They are basically your own spirit guides that are associating with you a lot more closely because your energies are reaching such a heightened state of expansion that they are basically working with your own field to help you, shall we say, capture other particular images that are in resonance of your own frequency as soon as you see them. And so basically it is a capture moment, a capture situation where nature spirits, spirits that have in that sense come and gone, or spirits that are simply pure of energy, are working together with your field, are helping you to expand. And so they are, shall we say, a type of energetic tech support. And they are basically helping to harmonize your field, expanding your field so that you can cross different dimensional plateaus in regards to heightened states of awareness. This is why your dream states are getting a little bit more interesting. This is why, shall we say, that you have had communications with certain dream individuals that are contained within that state that we feel. Yes?
I guess so.
All right. They can, in that sense, be a lot more aware to you. Some of them do represent loved ones who have passed. Some of them also represent ancient masters. We would also look more so in regards to a suggestion that we can give you, is to looking more so in the idea of your ancient Greece. There are energies that are especially powerfully significant within that area in regards to specific ruins. Specifically upon the time of what you would know as the center point of your own Roman Empire. This holds significance in regards to your energy, and some of those particular sprites Those nature orbs, in that sense, do hold a reminiscence in regards to that time of what you would know as that area of Rome, in that area also of what you would know as Greece.
Is there anything I should do to find out why these are happening now? Or have I changed in some way?
The whole idea is it's really just a transformation, an advancement, a shift that's taken place. And this has happened so much over time, and now it is seeming a lot more prominent. It's the whole idea that as a child, you once crawled, and then at some point, you got up and you started to walk. It's all part of a transition, but it's happened a lot more seamlessly. It works a lot more stronger now in a way that it happens so quickly that now you're just starting to notice this other profound ability that has been with you for quite some time of being able to attract these spirits together with you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome very much. Happy dancing. Questions?
Hi, Adronis.
Hello to you.
My name is Karen.
Hello, Karen.
And I'm very excited to speak with you.
We are wonderfully happy to speak with you as well.
My interest and my questions are about the Akashic records.
Yes.
I think in the meditation I have been taken to them and shown them.
You think you have.
I think it felt as though I was.
You were. That's it. When you basically experience something, you're experiencing something. You're not thinking you are, you actually are. So yes, you've been there.
Oh, no.
Many have said hello in those rounds to you as well.
Okay. And my question though is, I was taken there and shown, and the building itself was very interesting, and then when the scroll was shown to me, I couldn't read anything. Was I meant to have seen something, and are we actually meant to read our own Akashic records, or is there another purpose to that sort of meditation I experienced?
It's not so much that you aren't really able to read it, it's that you're not ready yet to read it. And that's the whole idea. Everything occurs in divine timing. Right now, it is a, shall we say, prelude state to where you are connecting to the Akashic records in this way, that you feel that you are going inside this building, that you may see other beings, other energies, and that you are just starting to check things out. The reason why it may feel very blurred or very skewed is that you're just not ready to receive that information, because further calibration is required through your vessel. And this will happen over time, over time, over time. So as you continue to meditate upon the Akashic records, we would suggest talking to one of the librarians there.
And can I
You would refer to this being as what you would know as Anyx. A-N-Y-X.
Okay.
We would ask you that when you next time go to the Akashic records, you could first give him a high five. Just kidding. And in that sense, being able to ask for Anyx and being able to help in that sense through him, being able to calibrate these energies through the questions that you ask. You can ask him about the scroll. He will be able to give you more specific inundations relating to that energy. But basically, it's just energy that is, shall we say, not quite ripe yet. And it's just looking to ferment itself as you become more accustomed in calibration through your guides and through Anyx that can assist you in this way to help you, shall we say, explore the records further through your own tapestries.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Would you like to give us a high five? Thank you. Questions?
Hi everyone, my name is Dina.
Hi everyone. Well, hello to you from everyone.
I was just recently working on my intuitive abilities.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm working on something to do with working with my intuitiveness, but I don't really know if I should be writing or if I work with pendulum. And
What is the strongest idea that represents your intuitive ability that you feel?
yeah. I'm still a bit confused about that because I'm always working with pendulum more than I'm using my own intuitiveness. But I know
What do you feel is more of the pure flow that you receive? Is it done through a tool? Is it done through your own matrix?
I rely more on the tool than I do on my own.
All right,
But
so
I
that's
know
the
that
whole
my
idea.
mind, but I know in the past my mind was giving me messages saying, hey, this is the information, and I never knew what to do with it because I was always afraid to tell people what I heard.
Well, the whole idea is that your pendulums, your tarot cards, your crystals, etc. are training wheels. And that's basically all that's happening, is that you can continue to work with these training wheels, these tools of assistance, or you may feel that a time may approach where those training wheels can now come off. and you can now start to use your own natural intuition in regards to how you're receiving information. The key first is being able to become aware of how you are receiving the information. If it's done through a great deal of clarity in regards to something like pendulums or tarot cards, etc., and if you are still feeling that you are using your natural intuition, but it's not quite there yet, we would still suggest that you're still working with the tools, because the tools will also help you on how to train your intuition. There are, shall we say, particular aspects of energies that are coming through now for you, that they do, in that sense, are suggesting with you, looking more into the idea of putting flowers around your space, certain areas that are calibrated with the chakra centers in regards to obvious colors, your reds, your oranges, your yellows, your greens, your blues, your violets, and being able to immerse yourself not only in their presence of look, but also through their aromas. The aromas of flowers are actually a state of expanded consciousness that can be brought forward. So the whole idea here is that as you immerse yourself with flowers in this way, in any way that you feel represents your energies, you're actually helping in regards to an external stimulation that's actually helping you to, shall we say, fine-tune your own natural intuition. So look into the idea of flowers with a delightful aroma that are calibrated with your rainbow frequencies, such as your chakra centers. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Anything else on that?
Nothing on that subject.
All right. Anything else?
Will I find Mr. Right?
Will you find Mr. Right? Yes, when you look left. So the whole idea here is that you all have particular partners that can, shall we say, potentially give you a great compliment, but you have to begin to compliment yourself. And as you start to compliment yourself and start to feel very comfortable in your own skin, the universe will provide Mr. Right, when you look left, towards you and coming together in that way because you are feeling comfortable in your own skin. You're starting to get to understand yourself, and this particular partner simply represents a compliment to how you see you. As you see your own value, this is how you start to bring in the twin flame. This is how you start to bring in the soul mate. Because you are truly in a very strong, comfortable area with yourself, you see your value, you see the love that you are resonating with, and there is then an opportunity upon your request to bring forward that reflection that is a continual compliment to you. However, certain twin flame partners, certain soulmate partners, aren't always the idea of a princess here and a prince charming there, and riding off into the sunset. Sometimes twin flames and soulmates can be temporary. And basically all that's happening is that you have a very blissful situation that may only last a short period of time. Simply because it's not just about you, but it's also looking into the partner. You have to realize that you're coming together in a co-creation. As you co-create together, you share each other's feelings. You share each other in regards to how you continually complement each other. That at some point may run dry. That partner may have to leave for a while or for some time, simply because they are looking to calibrate themselves in other areas that may represent inadequacy in regards to the complement of the partnership. So, again, you can certainly attract an individual of your own favor for as a partner, but it's all starting with you. Give yourself the energy and the love to appreciate how wonderful you are in your own value. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Questions?
Hello.
Hello to you. Do you have a name?
Yeah, my name's Amanda.
Hello, Amanda.
I seem to experience this as a personal part of being born and growing up and becoming an adult.
Yes.
And I see this need that we sometimes all collectively have for a pain lesson.
Yes.
And that there's some truth to being hardwired for pain. Because I know no matter how many things my mom did right, I I still struggle.
Yes?
And I'm wondering why we need that pain lesson sometimes.
Because the struggle isn't appreciated. And that's the whole idea. That's part of forgiveness, is that the pain itself remains until it's realized its purpose. And when that purpose has been realized, liberation then has the opportunity to present itself. This is why many of you, in that sense, are still struggling, are still going through pain, because you're still very committed to finding that light, to going off into the sunset and feeling that everything is going to be all right, when you're not admitting what the pain is doing to you to show you an example of your own misalignment. That own misalignment which prevents you from going into the light, moving yourself more into that positive direction. So as long as you really start to appreciate what you felt is all part of the lesson, all part of the interactions relating to these traumatic events, and understand them, acknowledge them, realize that they have existed, and moving into forgiveness to realize why they're there, then you are able to then achieve a liberation. But until that happens, the pain remains. So again, yes, pain certainly does bring forward an example, does bring forward a presence and a purpose, simply because that pain is all part of the segregation. And as you understand that pain much more, you are able to attract that particular point of positive polarity to bring it into a unification. And so again, this is why, shall we say, the pain is looking to be appreciated, because when it's not, the pain only gets worse, because you're trying to run away from it. As you respect it, as you appreciate it, as you bring it into your acknowledgement, you then create a bridge. And that bridge helps to re-anchor the energies between the negative and the positive, to then achieve liberation in unification. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Anything else on that?
Parts of me feel like I can work on myself and I can cultivate my own happiness.
Yes.
But that I'm also connected to every other being on this planet. And that in that sense, until we're all there, not one of us is really fully happy yet.
That's correct. That's the whole idea. That's why there's challenges that will exist and that will continue to exist. And believe us when we say, after the planetary consciousness has become a lot more aware of itself, there'll be other planets for you to go to, for you to help out. Because now it's about arranging your star system. Then it's about arranging your quadrant of the galaxy. Then it's about arranging the galaxy. Then it's about arranging the next galaxy. Then the next one after that. And continuously into the state of infinity. Until you basically evolve to such a degree of life that you're no longer physicalized in this form. That you simply exist as guides. Which is basically, in that sense, standing up to where we are. And we are happy to, in that sense, share the podium with many of you when you're there. That's all part of the experience. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're coming forward in that sense. Because there is much that we had to personally work out through ourselves. Work out through what you would consider to be individualized consciousness, then moving into group/monadic consciousness, and then being able to share that with all others that are still feeling this polarization of individuality or self-based complexes. So again, the challenges continue to build. The challenges continue to happen, but you will start to notice an easement in regards to, as you are personally eased, the easement in regards to the noticeability of these challenges now become a lot more apparent. So again, it will be a continual journey, even when humanity itself is aware of its own collective consciousness. The journey will always continue, but it will continue to ascend and ascend and ascend, not go back into the depths of darkness. All right?
Sure.
In a nutshell. Anything else on that?
Well, I was going to ask how long it was going to take. But now you're saying it's not just about Earth, and it sounds like that's what you're doing by, collectively in the entire universe and continuing to expand. So I don't know if that question's relevant.
Give us a moment so that we can get our watch. The whole idea really is that Earth itself, within the next 1,000 years, is going to be fully aware of itself, is going to be fully aware of the collective consciousness. However, that's where other experiences are going to come forward. The next 1,000 years, in that sense, are some of the most exciting 1,000 years of your nature of people, because you're going to be moving more into these spiritual heightenings, more into this unified base consciousness, more elevations closer to a higher state of incarnation, that you will become much more like light than in flesh. And that's what's happening in the next 1,000 years. But again, as we stated, it's always about eternally being of service. And for those who are eternally being of service, there is no challenge too great or too small to be of service. And that's the whole idea. It's not going to be boring. It's going to continue to evolve and advance and evolve as you do. But you will all be experiencing it in your own way, and you will all have your own challenges to take care of, because that's how you're wired. That's how you're all unique. But you're still working together, even in that unique state of consciousness. Make sense? All right. We thank you very much for your questions. Questions?
Well, hello there.
Hello there.
How are you doing today?
We are wonderful. And do you have a name?
I do. I'm Geneva.
Geneva. Yes. Hello.
Hello. You saw the flowers.
Yes.
They're the same plants on Sirius that there are here.
Well, where we existed is a star. And so the whole idea is if we try to plant flowers, they'd be burned up.
So you have lore collected and saved.
The closest approximation to how we could perceive our reality through your understanding of your reality is that you would see it as an ocean of light. An ocean of light and an ocean of fire in that sense, but the fire does not harm. And in that sense, as you perceive the star itself in your dimension, you see it as simply perhaps a ball of fire, a ball of bright light. From our particular perspective, we are one with that light, and that all truly is oceanic in regards to its, shall we say, nature, to helping us, shall we say, understand the nature about how we exist multidimensionally, not only through you, but through all those whom we contact. So, in that sense, there are planets contained within Sirius A, 17 of them, that do have, shall we say, flowers upon their surfaces, and they are quite beautiful. There is one that we are envisioning right now that looks very much like your lotus, but much more pink. There are other particular flowers that we are seeing right now that, in that sense, have different aromas in regards more to the idea of what you would know as your citrus smell. So again, many different flowers exist, all based upon the complement of the energies of that flora and fauna that exist upon that world to continue for it to be energetically efficient. So yes, there are flowers and other planets existing within the star of Sirius in our star system.
Beautiful, thank you. Do you yourself have a personal favorite?
Do we have a personal favorite? We really enjoy the idea of what you would consider to be your lilies. In that sense. Simply because of their aroma, of their appearance, of their geometry. So it is a favorite, one of our favorites. We also enjoy the roses. Because you always have to stop to smell them. So yes, many of, shall we say, your particular natural forms of flora and fauna on your planet, we really do, in that sense, appreciate it in our own way because we see them much differently than you do. We see them as energy. We see them as light. And that their aromas can actually be seen rather than just smelled. So you're actually seeing a, shall we say, essence pertaining to their aroma. It is very fragrant in that sense. And yes, we can certainly smell from our dimension as well.
I'm a plant healer, so I get some of that sometimes, and I feel very much like there's one plant spirit in particular that wants me to connect with it.
Yes.
And I was wondering, how do you know exactly I don't know, they're like my friends. It's like having between my friends, you can't do that. Because
Well, when your friend tells you to come up and smell them, why not? So it's an invitation. And that's the whole idea, is that as long as you know the invite is there, that basically is, shall we say, the sharing in regards to love between the plants and yourselves. This is it, really, is that plants themselves get high when you smell them. That's the key. They are in bliss when humans interact with them. They are very much in a beautiful, shall we say, raging state of amplification of light through that particular state of smelling their aroma. That's how interactive they are. That's why they're there. It truly is their bliss when a human, when an animal, acknowledges their presence.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much.
We thank you very much. Questions?
Hello, my name is Adam Phillip.
Hello, Adam.
Hello, how are you?
Adam Phillip?
Yes, please.
Hello, Adam Phillip.
Hello. Essentially, up until a time about just over 3 years ago, I came to very fine in life at UVic, studying psychology.
Yes.
I was taking violin classes. About 3 years ago, all that changed. I had to stop school instantly. I became very ill. I had to stop violin classes. I had to give up all my commitments. I found myself unable to stand anymore or have the strength in my limbs to hold up my violin or the ability to play with my fingers, which reflected loss of gross motor control and fine motor control. And 3 years from there to this day, I still have these issues with memory and motor dysfunction, and it's clear over time, and has been clear over time that I had a brain injury. And I'm learning a lot about myself and recovering. Life had been very hard for me. After my injury, I wasn't aware of it entirely, and my personality changed a bit because it was a frontal lobe injury, and that affected my personality, and I lost a lot of friends. I'm very lucky to have a wonderful friend named Korea, and she's been my friend for the past year and a half, and recently become my godmother. And I met another friend named Mark, and he's very spiritual, and once he mentioned Sirius to me, and I believe I do have a purpose in this life. I want to learn more about neuropsychology, the study of brain behavior relationships and rehabilitation, and I want to help people who have gone through what I have gone through, though I know I have to recover eventually and probably be assessed by a clinical neuropsychologist eventually, and that all takes time and a lot of money and a lot of hard work. I'm just wondering if I be true to myself, I'll be on the right path and get there eventually. And I'm also wondering if you could tell me anything that might help my friend Mark, because he feels strongly connected to Sirius, you mentioned at one time. So yeah, those are my 2 questions.
All right. We thank you very much for your questions. Yes, you will absolutely get there. There's no question about that, because here's the thing. You yourself have a lot more passion in regards to neuropsychology than some neuropsychologists. And so the whole idea is that that passion can move mountains. That passion itself can part rivers. So what we're saying here is that yes, you're already exactly where you need to be. You have not deviated the course, preventing you from exploring that. And so we certainly do see you being able to move more into that career, but also being able to look at it in a much more alternative way as well, where you may actually be able to, shall we say, educate much of the teachers that are actually already contained within that particular criteria itself. You will actually be able to experience more connections in regards to intelligence, in regards to content that's coming through to basically, shall we say, give yourself a standing authenticity to your approach in regards to these particular types of neuropsychology that is not yet written in textbooks.
Great, wow.
So that truly is within your grasp. In regards to your friend, Mark, as he has connections to Sirius, yes, we do have one particular name that we can share with him, and that is the name that is known as Rhino, R-I-N-O. This is your own particular spirit guide that exists within Sirius A, and that you would basically interpret them as, shall we say, a very tall humanoid, very similar to how we have interpreted ourselves, long blonde hair, blue eyes, and wearing a silver uniform, just as we have in the past through this conduit. So the whole idea is connecting to that energy, R-I-N-O, Rhino or Reno, however you wish to pronounce it is fine, and being able to share that particular state through your own dreams will actually help you to gain a familiarity and reconnection with Sirius, as you are, shall we say, highly connected to that energy.
That's brilliant. I'll make sure to share that with them. And just one more question, please. It's
yes.
percolated in my mind. There is a world-leading expert in cognitive rehabilitation. Her name is Professor Catherine Mateer, and she's somehow at the University of Victoria, which is a world-renowned neuropsychology and actually #1 program in North America. I believe that I'll be sharing my story with her in a few weeks to come once I finish writing it. Can you tell me anything about how my interaction with her might go?
Very positively.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
We thank you very much.
May the source bless you.
Thank you very much. Questions?
Hello.
Hello to you. Hello, Samantha.
My question is, recently I've been having dreams within dreams. And my dreams don't contain people I know or that I've met. And my question is, how do I interpret this?
They are basically functioning more in the idea of observational capacity. When you are not attracting beings that you may have familiarity within your own life, basically these are observational presenters helping to clean the slate of memory so that you are able to receive higher degrees of information, of aspects, to actually helping you accelerate yourself. So the dreams within dreams basically represent a fundamental observational layer contained within the higher astral realm to basically bring forward the cleaning of this slate of memory so that you are attaining new ability, new information, and new insight in regards to how reality reacts to you.
So, most of my life, my dreams have contained people who I have never met. And
Yes.
occasionally I do meet them. So, each time I dream of someone who I haven't yet met, that's the way to sleep.
That's true. That's correct, because there's no emotional attachment in regards to that projection. The only reason why there can be, shall we say, certain forms of heightened emotional states in certain dreams is because you may have projections of people who you may know or have some familiarity with that basically incites a reaction in regards to a, shall we say, neurological transformation taking place. The synapses fire because there is a familiarity. With those beings that are unfamiliar, to actually bring forward the degree of a heightened state of awareness because there is no association in regards to the definition of their presence. And so basically it's giving you a heightened degree to where the synapses themselves are expanding. To where you are, shall we say, flowing across a neurological river where your aspects of brain activity are expanding in areas that were once dormant. So that's fundamentally what's happening here, is that these particular beings in observation are helping to expand you. Truly, you do know them, you just don't know them consciously.
Thank you.
That's the idea. Anything else on that?
No, thanks.
Thank you very much, Samantha. What is your current time? 8:30. All right, we still have another 20 minutes. Questions?
Hello, my name is Josie.
Hello, Josie.
Hi. I have a question about something that happened with my daughter when she was about a year and a half old.
Yes.
She didn't have a big vocabulary, but she came and sat up at my lap one day, and she said, "Oh, I'm sitting here just like I sat with you last night in the big mummy car in the sky." And I wondered if you could tell me about that.
Yes, you are basically sharing dreams in that sense, in a heightened state of, shall we say, a different reality. More celestial in that way. You do understand that your daughter, in regards to her own energies, is very fresh from the stars coming to planet Earth.
Okay.
And so the whole idea is that she is attaining more familiarity with your connections on a higher energetic level that is more celestial, that's then being brought forward down here in regards to her getting used to the Earth plane. And so her greatest form of, shall we say, representation and rapport comes from what has been shared from her intuitively as well as through her dreams. So she's giving you, shall we say, celestial connections in regards to spaces you have both shared in regards to different energy patterns beyond the human body. And it's quite exciting. Enjoy it. There is much that your children are teaching you, because many of your children in that sense, many of them are very fresh to planet Earth. Some of them have not even been here before. They have come from other worlds, they have come from other realms, they have come from other dimensions. They have come as essence to bring themselves here on this planet because Humanity is evolving. And it has reached the point in regards to its physicalized body with all the upgrades it's had for beings of this magnificent nature to come forward and start housing these units. And that's why they are, in that sense, crystal children, or new children, or shall we say, star children. They truly are from the stars, from different realms. Many of them are visiting Earth for the very first time. Let them feel welcome. Your humanity is basically a whole new species through these children. You're dealing with an entirely new species. All right?
Great.
Yes, we think so.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Questions?
Hi, Adronis. My name is Gloria.
Hello, Gloria.
And I'd like to thank you for your comments on pain.
All right.
Okay, around 25 years ago, I started developing some...
We were just about to say, are you 25 years old?
No. Much older.
Well, in heart.
So, about 25 years ago, I started developing some chronic conditions, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and chronic pain, and cognitive difficulties. I've been struggling with them all this time. I'm aware that they are, I'm learning from them. But I'm also...
A lot of it has to do with acceptance, personal acceptance of self in regards to achieving your own goals. A lot of it in that sense also has the faith in regards to other members of the family, other friends that you've had close connections with in regards to, shall we say, having states of over-worry or over-concern. And that this happens to the point where it, shall we say, boils over, and that much of these particular forms of chronic disabilities in that sense begin to ferment. Because that's all part of, shall we say, severe states of tension that are affecting specific areas within your body that are creating these particular quote-unquote disorders.
So they're worried or my worry?
You yourself are. Because it's not about what anybody else thinks. It's about yourself.
Right.
And so there has been this over-tension and this boiling over point.
Okay. And part of what it's created is it's created an environment that I live in that is really negative and unhealthy.
All right.
And I feel like I'm in a straitjacket, and I would like some tips or assistance in how I start working out of that.
Positive reinforcement that will give you the direction to move beyond that. So if there can be no remedy, if there can be no negotiation in regards to your own environment where you live in, then the whole idea is that you are simply looking to vacate. One particular aspect of that vacate that we can give for you is vacation. That's what you need. You need a holiday. You need a vacation. And it's basically being able to give you the time to center your energies to decide exactly the choice that you are ready to make in order for your environment to be harmonized. Because with many people that may be existing with your environment, if there cannot be symmetry, there is separation in order for symmetry to be attained. That's just simply how it works. When there cannot be negotiation, when there cannot be truce in regards to co-creation, those particular factors separate. And they create harmony in regards to them becoming independent nodes to bring that forward. So that's basically the idea here.
Okay. The only thing that I picked up intuitively so far in trying to deal with this is, as you said, negotiate, like talk to all these different aspects, make friends with them, see what they have to say, and just try to work with them.
That's the idea.
And kind of let them go.
You negotiate first. You attempt to negotiate. Where there cannot be symmetry, where there cannot be consensus, the whole idea is that the universe is attempting to bring you into your own space because there has not been success in regards to negotiation. If you cannot coexist, it's simply about moving into your own space where you can independently exist until you are healed to then have opportunities to heal those wounds.
Okay, so
and that's all part of, in that sense, of what you're experiencing through the physical body.
Okay, so it's basically bringing all the aspects of myself together and working with them all together.
That's correct.
Right, okay.
But again, a vacation is indeed in mind.
Okay. A physical vacation?
A physical vacation.
Okay. And one quick thing about flowers. I love flowers. They really do improve the environment.
Yes.
But I feel bad about picking them because they seem much happier.
Ask permission first. That's what we would say. ask permission first. Some flowers actually don't mind being picked. But if you, in that sense, are, without asking, creating that form of picking the flowers, then basically what you're doing is actually inadvertently destroying a community. And so it's very, very important that if you wish to pick this flower, ask it, if it is its journey. And it will definitely respond to you in regards to that rapport of communicating with its energy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Questions?
Hello, Adronis.
Hello to you.
How are you?
We're fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm Vegas.
All right. So should we just call you that?
Sure.
All right. Hello, Vegas. How are you?
Every day is better than the last.
Wonderful.
Lately, I have been spending a lot of time on my own in self-meditation and self-reflection and self-observation.
Yes.
And it's been quite a magnificent process, and I've been really seeing the light that I, among the people in this room, this world, are, and realizing how charmed of a life I really have, and seeing things really show up and manifest almost instantly in practically every area of my life. And it's been such a beautiful experience, and I feel my vibration raising each day. But this is mostly on my own or when I'm among public and not with anyone in my social circles.
Yes.
And I find myself that when I go into my social circles or in a social setting or I'm being social with others, that other people's negativity and other people's, complaining and criticism, I find that it's hard for me to keep my vibration high, and I can feel it sinking down as I'm speaking with them. And I find that I almost don't even want to be in the social situations anymore, and that I'm retreating to myself. But I want to be able to hold that vibration for everywhere that I go and with whoever I speak to. And I was wondering if you would be able to offer some words of wisdom or direction to be able to maintain that high vibration, or to be able to work on my compassion for others and not fall into the negativity that's being shared.
Yes, the whole idea really is that when you're in your own space, you're at the most comfortable because you're only working with your energies. When you go out and become part of the social community, you are going to discover different blends of energy that are now starting to work together with yours. Some of them can be very comfortable, some of them can be very uncomfortable. And so the whole idea here is that you are attaining to understand the center, the nexus of what that negative energy represents. And you're basically looking at that in hindsight and discovering exactly how can I harmonize this energy, because it needs to be done through you. Any person's perspective will only work for them, it may not work for you. So basically, our particular homework assignment for you, and for all of you tonight, is being able to acknowledge these energies of what you're feeling that represents discomfort, that represents an uncomfortable nature. And we want you to look at that. And if you feel that you don't like it, we want you to say to its face, I don't like it. I really don't like your energy. I don't like how you're so negative. And let it all out. And as you let it all out, that energy now becomes extinguished, because you have gained a facet of looking at reality in regards to, shall we say, letting all that venting out, so that that particular facet now becomes harmonized. And so now you have harmonized that energy by telling it through your own truth how it makes you feel. As you have fully done that to the point where you are fully honest through the heart space, that facet now collects itself with you. And now you have a familiarity to that negative energy, so to speak, that no longer becomes negative. And now you can bring light to it, because now you understand it better, because you have already shared your discomfort with it until you feel comfortable with the discomfort. So that's the whole idea. You're negotiating with the facets of reality in order for them to be, shall we say, adaptable with your own frequency that will then bring forward resolve. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right. Very much magnificent. We are happy to have 2 more people for questions. 2 more people.
Hi.
Hello to you.
My name is Caitlin.
Hello, Caitlin.
About a year ago, I met my twin Wayne, so many ago. But he lives very far off.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, when is it that we will be able to be
There are many opportunities, but it feels that in regards to his distance, that there is something that he is looking to achieve, to get past in that sense. We feel that there is a horizon coming in regards to opportunity that will be, shall we say, closer to the late summer, early fall of this year. As you, in that sense, are attaining a particular state of security that is attractive to him. That there is something that you are bringing forward into your life at that time that will basically give him an open bridge, an opportunity to, shall we say, meet up with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So approximately around the late summer, early fall, approximately around that time.
Do you mean meet up like
In the physical.
in the physical temporarily or for?
It's challenging to say. It all depends in regards to how you both come together and stay together. But there is something that you are going to be brought forward to do around that time. This may, in that sense, represent a type of security. A type of security blanket that he is very comfortable with to allow him to actually come over and see. This is what we sense. This is what we're sharing now. Anything else on that?
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much. Questions? Last question.
Hello, my name is Sally.
Sally? Yes. Hello.
Hi. I've been on a path for the last couple of years trying to decide what direction to take my life in.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering what I should concentrate on.
Music.
Music. Wow. A total surprise.
Total surprise.
Total surprise.
Well, when we say music, what comes to mind to you?
Singing.
Yes. That's it.
I'm not a singer. See, I was thinking like healing or communication.
Healing is singing. Singing is healing.
Okay.
And in that sense, you say, I'm not a singer. Oh, yes, you are. It's just singing of a different degree. So music itself doesn't always have to relate primarily to singing. It's that the music itself brings you into the vibration of what you wish to achieve as a healer. Healers often work very often with music. And so we feel that your power in regards to being a healer revolves around music, revolves around instrumental playing, revolves around others that are, shall we say, very much in appreciation to music, as well as your own ability in that sense to test out your vocal cords a bit more. So it is therefore a faction of energies contained within that facet that is helping you to, shall we say, advance yourself deeper into the essence of music as a healer.
One more question. Will I find a teacher that will help me?
Yes?
And when?
Someone is here tonight for you. Correct.
So we will connect. Thank you.
There you go. That's awesome. We're happy to take one more person. All right, one more person. One more person. Enjoy the sweet melody of music that you both share.
Hello, Adronis.
Hello to you.
Hello. Ascending Earth Creations. What are we to do with this gift and knowledge? And how do I expand and express this way of life to people around the world?
Through all of the joy that you share within your heart, everybody else is around to hear it.
Excellent.
So basically the whole idea is that you're here to unify. You're here to be a collective consciousness. To share in regards to how much you appreciate each other in all the unique ways you have of expressing yourselves.
Okay. And the Ascended Masters, why so many visitations and how do you remain open to it?
The Ascended Masters themselves simply represent a rapport of energies in regards to those that are of assistance in higher dimensions. So the whole idea is that Ascended Masters really does represent differentiations of perspectives. Some may see that the idea of Jesus Christ may represent an Ascended Master, or your own Buddha nature in that sense represents an Ascended Master. The nature of their own relations is helping you to understand the fundamental connection of your greatness through them back to you. So it's basically just realigning with their own greatness that you have that represents the reflection that they pass back to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else on that?
That's it.
Thank you very much. Oh, I guess we can have one more.
Hello, Adronis. My name is Wally.
Hello, Wally.
Thank you very much for this moment.
We thank you very much as well for sharing.
I wasn't going to come up here, but someone
Well,
was
you
talking-
did, so congratulations.
Someone was talking about children.
Yes.
They fascinate me, and I love children. And I don't know what it is, but it seems that so many times in my life, and I'm sure others have shared these moments as well, you're walking through a public place and some child, and I'm talking like little ones, they lock onto your eyes to the point of like it's just an amazing moment. And
yes.
I can continue to walk and I'll turn over my shoulder to look and they're still looking. And it's just a beautiful moment that is shared. And I don't quite understand the magic in that, but I was hoping that maybe you might have some explanation for that.
Their teaching simply is the love that is expressed without words. So it basically is helping you to teach how to be a telepathic society. Their stare into your eyes really is all that represents a million speeches. Because they are basically showing you that in the moment, all is communicative, all is responsive, and all is shared. And so they're basically teaching the adults, as I look into your eyes, see the greatness of me. As I see your eyes, I see the greatness of you. It is in what you would consider to be that moment of namaste. All particular forms of communication verbally do not need to apply. And so they're teaching you how to be telepathic. Because they will be the generations to initiate in telepathic communication. Within your next 25 years, you will actually have displayed telepathic technology created from these new children. It will start off small at first and then work its way up. So, they are basically bringing in the initiations of these new technologies through their own consciousness to share in those who do not yet understand how it can be applied to a device. So again, telepathy is what's going to be visiting you within this, shall we say, next generational octave. And that's what they're teaching you now. The love that they have through the eyes that they share with you through your soul.
Well, I hope everyone in this room has an opportunity to experience that sometime. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We thank each and every single one of you tonight of your time for the opportunity of this most wonderful interaction. I am Adronis from Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all of you. Thank you very much. Farewell for this timing, and we will speak to you all again in the moment. Goodbye for now.